What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
I have famously huge turds.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. Unfortunately my technical problems still continue, but this is an old video I've managed to resurrect from the dead. The 150 solo clear on Diablo 3 Season 28 for the Raycore Barbarian. I did this a little while ago. This wasn't the first 150 I'd cleared. My technical difficulties meant that I got distracted the first time. I forgot because I'm a bit of a potato. But here we are. This is the 150 clear on the Barb. 3.1k Paragon. The Barb was pretty well geared. I'd played a lot of support Barb, so we had pretty nice pieces. Not everything was orged. It wasn't all completely perfect. But yeah, I thought we'd just do the walkthrough. Now, the Raycore Barb is a little bit clunky to play. I think I probably could have got this done a few hundred Paragon earlier, but the build I was running wasn't quite set up optimally, and once I made a change in one of the skills, which was to get rid of the Veteran's Warning impunity, swap it for the Ignore Pain Ironhide, I found it a lot easier to do. I also swapped around some of the rolls, making sure I had damage percent on both weapons, which again I think I've been trying to do cool down an area damage and it just wasn't really working. But anyway, the map is a Festering Woods. Basically, it's a bit of a momentum build Barb. We've got at the bottom here the 25 Rampage stacks. That is a pretty big boost for us, as in like it gives us a lot of toughness, 25% extra strength, gives us 25% extra damage through the strength modifier. But you need to bear in mind that you have to kill things to get it to work. So you're really basically looking for a map like this, Festering Woods, battlefields, whatever it is that is playable, so that you can kill the first enemy or two. That'll give you an Oculus circle, you can jump in it, that should hopefully give you another kill, another Oculus, and that will hopefully make your strength go up until you get to the maximum 25 cap on those stacks. We're also using the Traveller's Pledge and Compass Rose, so when we stand still we get up to a double damage modifier, but when we move around we do get some damage reduction. We've got, of course, Wrath of the Berserker Insanity. We've got the Boulder Toss rune on the Raycore Barb, so whenever we chuck out a Boulder Toss we empty our Fury. We need to get it back. We also need to keep a little eye on our Furious Charge stacks here, which obviously, provided you've got stuff to hit, that's absolutely fine. What we're trying to do at the moment is just kind of drag this pull around the map and obviously jump in the potion power circles. We're hoping for purple ones for the extra damage. We're hoping for the sword, like potion power procs, which again will help us kind of get an elite down. But basically we're just hoping for a pylon, which, you know, as we drag the pull around, we're obviously making some progress. The bar is filling up in the purple, we are behind the timer, but ultimately with doing one of these 150 clears, all we really need to do is to basically make some progress like this, and then that obviously increases the chances of getting a pylon, and you just need to kind of do this type of map with a mob type that you can kill with your build, and at some point you'll get the progress bar high enough and you will actually get a Conduit pylon, or maybe even a power or a shield or something like that. Would be kind of handy, and you know, maybe your next pylon is going to be a Condi. But yeah, all we're doing is trying to jump into the hopscotch circles, keeping the pull moving round, trying to make sure that we keep this blue with us. And I think we end up getting most of the stuff dragged around with us. We might have missed some of it. Again, I was kind of thinking, well, it really just depends on the pylon spawn here. If we get one, and if it's a good one, then I think we'll be in a good position to clear, even if we have missed one or two. It is obviously difficult to drag stuff when you don't have access to abilities that move. You just got to try and aggro it and move it around as best you can. That's something I'm still trying to get a little better at, but I guess we've only got a couple of weeks till Diablo 4 now, so maybe I don't need to invest too much time and energy into improving. Do have a Juggernaut, and I think we're just trying to keep it moving a little bit. Yeah, I'm looking for those pylons. Really enjoyed the server slam at the weekend. I've got some footage. I've managed to salvage it from my PC problems, so I will have some more Diablo 4 videos soon. In terms of Diablo 3, I've got a 145 clear on a Seder to go through. I don't think I'm going to get to GR150 on that. I don't think I'm going to get to GR150 on the Demon Hunter. The Natalia build is absolutely no fun to play, in my opinion, so the thought of me wanting to play it is not good, and Monk, similarly, is not much fun. So we've got the Conduit Pylon here. Goal now really is just burn down this trash so that we can make the Conduit Pylon as effective as possible, because of course it only hits about, I think it's either 6 or 8 enemies, it's something like that's one of those two numbers, I can't remember which, but obviously if we pop it now with all this trash, we're not going to get the same amount of value, and obviously that's something I've learned trying to do this solo 150 journey. In the past I'd have probably just popped this now and I wouldn't have been getting as much value out of it. Again, another thing watching this back, and I can't remember whether it was in my mind or not, was maybe we could just gone to the next floor, because we do actually find the exit, I think, before we pop the pylon. We could have maybe tried to aggro something towards the door to get an extra kill out of the Conduit, but I think I'm feeling pretty confident because I know there's I don't know, 3 or 4 elites within range. They're all kind of at various different states of being defeated, like the Juggernaut's about halfway through. I know we're going to get another spawn out of the Conduit, and I'm thinking I don't think we need to like really sweat this too much. This Conduit should be enough to get us in. We'd have to have pretty bad luck from this point, so maybe that was going through my mind, maybe that's just me being optimistic watching it back, but I think we chip this away a little bit more. As you see, we've got the 3 yellows here, and we'll just go up and get the Conduit. And I think I check up to the top just to make sure that I've got everything, because obviously one of the things with this season is it is difficult to tell when you actually kill the elites. I don't use Turbo HUD or anything like that, so it is just pure visual inspection. So we take a little look up here, can't see anything else. I'm guessing we've killed all of the elites that we were dragging around the map. So we're just going to get this guy here, zoom back down, pick up the others, and then go to the next floor. Pleased that I've got 3 of the classes done for 150. I want to get all the other classes to 140 at the very least. I think that is doable. I might be able to make a little bit more progress after that. It just depends as to what actually happens. But pretty decent Conduit here. We pick up quite a lot of orbs, as you can see. Like, I mean, just look at the massive progress we've made just out of that one pylon. It is one of the reasons why pushing is very wonky, because obviously we're just reliant totally on the Conduit. I mean, I hope Greater Rifts get added to Diablo 4. I think it is a good game mechanic. Obviously we don't want it being the sole mechanic for D4, and I think pylons in it actually are kind of a bit pants. They kind of ruin this experience a little bit, because you are just basically looking. We get a bit of bad luck here. A cooldown pylon is not terrible because we do have access to a lot of Ignore Pain, which keeps us a bit tankier. We get more Uptown and Wrath of the Berserk, which is more damage, but ultimately I would far rather have had a shield pylon, because that would just allow us to stand wherever the hell we like, and also a power pylon of course would have been much better, because that would have been handy. I think even a speed probably would have been a little better. I think I try and open up the map a little bit more with a bit more progress, because again we're just thinking, well, if we can get a speed pylon, power pylon for the boss, it's going to make it, you know, faster. I think we'll get the clear either way at this point, but I think it's worthwhile just having a little look up in this corner, and I think I go to the next floor as well just to check, just to see if we can't get a pylon spawned right at the very last minute. But it's not the be all and end all, because we're pretty close. If we get one more of these elites down, we're going to be near enough most of the way there. What else about the build? Obviously we're using Band of Might for toughness, and yeah, I think that's it, just physical. We did take life per hit on the braces, which I think actually helped keep me alive a few times during this. Again, maybe we could have sacrificed that for a bit more strength. Compass Rose, of course, very hard to find. Traveller's Pledge, very hard to find, so those 2 pieces aren't augured. The rest of it, I think, was Primal Weapon on one hand, and then the Crafted Primal on the other. Spent a lot of time upgrading Spears on the Barb, just to see what we could get, getting that Primal Weapon with like area damage, cooldown, damage percent, stuff like that is pretty handy. I've actually get another yellow up here. So again, would have been nice if we'd got a pylon to blast this stuff off. But I think we'll have to take a quick little look at the next floor, and then other than that, we're going to come back here and kill the boss. Boss fight was a little bit of a weird one actually, so that'll be fun to see. So let me know in the comments, have you cleared 150 on Barb? I know a few people have done it with the Frenzy Savage Barb. Again, if I'd have maybe spent my time a little bit differently this season, I've not been kind of flitting around so many different builds and so many different things, it was something I was interested in pushing, but I think my time is just going to sadly run out before D4. So we're at 99%, so I think what the hell, let's go to the next floor, we'll have a little look to see if there's a pylon. I think there is potential for a pylon to spawn immediately on that map in that location. I might be wrong on that, but I just decided it's not worth exploring. We'll just come over here, mop up a couple of these little tiny mobs, and hopefully speaking that'll get the boss spawned, and we've got a good, I don't know, 3 minutes or so to kill it. So we'd have to get pretty unlucky with the potion powers or die multiple times to not get it done. I guess, you know, if you got the RNG worst boss in the game, then maybe this would have been a screw up, but spoiler alert, we do get it done. One thing watching this back is I didn't appreciate just how close I was getting to burning down my Raycor stacks, because obviously it's a single target enemy, so they are dropping by 5 every time we attack, and it's not taking 5 goes of the spear, or the axe rather, to get this back up to full. And really with the boss, we're just kind of hoping for potion powers, hoping to activate that power pylon. Again, it's been a little bit of an annoying amount of RNG for pushing, because obviously some pushes go much better than others. You press the potion button and you get a disproportionate amount of power pylon procs, and your build can feel very strong. Sometimes you can go ages without it happening. I've missed a few clears by a few seconds where literally if one time out of 4 or 5 presses on the boss we'd got a power pylon, we'd got it done. And that kind of feels a little sucky, because consistency I think is an important thing, particularly when you're trying to test this type of thing. Having the RNG aspect, you've already got the RNG on the map, you've got the RNG on the mob type, you've got the RNG on the Conduit, and then chucking the RNG of the potions going off on the boss at the right time, you know, in a pink circle with an oculus circle on top. It just makes it kind of toxic, I guess. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been a fun season, but like I've kind of stressed myself as much as I can, and this was weird. This bit we go proc on the cheat death, and then look at that, we absolutely whacked that boss. I don't really know what happens here. It's a little bit mad. Like, I've watched this back several times. I can't tell you what happens here, but we chunk about 30% of this guy's health almost like within like a couple of frames. So he's there, we proc, and then look at that crunch. I mean, we did have the power pylon. Maybe it was a delayed oculus spawn. So we had oculus spawn, pink circle, power pylon. Does it happen? Yeah, so that must have been it. We must have just got all those things all at once, and it went kaboom. That was pretty good. Right, I hope you enjoyed the clear. As I say, I've got a couple more Diablo 3, at least one more Diablo 3 video recorded, maybe 2. On the hard drive here. I'm back on my old PC, unfortunately, and I've got a new PC to set up at some point in the future, but yeah, I'll try and get some more D4 videos out as well soon. I hope you're all doing well. I will speak to you again soon. Take it easy, guys. Peace.